So hello and welcome to the UCI MTB Eliminator World Cup here in Leuven, Belgium, powered by Q8. And we are going to be bringing you all of the action from 8 rounds of the UCI XCE Eliminator World Cup, plus, of course, the World Championships in Graz, which takes place after the 3rd round this year. Now, we have lots of action to bring to you. My name is Matt Payne. I'm looking forward to bringing lots of action, lots of excitement, and lots of great interest from our riders. At the moment, the riders out and practicing on the course in between heats in Leuven, the capital city and the biggest city in the Brabant region of Flemish Belgium. And we're in the home of Milan-San Remo winner Jasper Stuyven, amongst others. We're in the Loudous Plain, which is Loudous Square, for those who don't speak Flemish, named after the former rector of the university. And in fact, we're right in front of the university buildings for the course. We've got some great action coming up for you, and this, if you've not seen it, is very, very fast, very furious, short courses, very, very quick action. Essentially, our riders qualify with the time trial. Once they've completed their one-lap time trial, they're then seeded into their gridding for the heats, and then it's a knockout process on the run through. So let's take a look at some of the action, and let's see what we've got in store for you today. So the action there from Barcelona, really exciting. Now let's take a look at what's in store for our riders here in Leuven on this 440-meter course.
Hello everyone, I'm Jay Bitterbeer. I'm at the starting line of the UCI World Cup. So here we have the first race, and then we are going straight towards the finish line. And then we have the first corner to the left. A very important corner in the starting, so you have a good position. Then you are going to the first obstacle, now the safety jogger bridge. And then we are going straight downwards towards the second obstacle, namely the wave jump. Moet fel mijn voeten in de CI. Then we are going to the left turn with the third obstacle. Now it's really important to have a good position. And then we are going to some stairs. It's really hard during the race, because after several heats it's going to be hard. And then to the Red Bull curve, heading to some speeds, going high into the curve. And then again some stairs. Some difficult stairs. Then closer to the right, we are almost at the finish line. So it's now very important to have a good position towards the finish line. And then the last left turn towards the finish. Now it's heading some speed for the finish line. Sharp turn to the left, and then we are coming towards the finish line. This was a lap on the UCI World Cup. Enjoy the race.
So a massive thank you to Jay Bitterbeer, who is out there riding the course. As you see, some fantastic obstacles from our riders. Now, Jay qualified in 6th place. He was 1.84 seconds behind. And already our quarterfinals look to be underway. Already out on course as our riders are working their way around the course here in the square in Leuven. And as you can see, a return to crowds, which is great to see. Now, the riders are being lined up in this, the third of the quarterfinals. And as you can see, we've got Eddie Stiebel lined up along with Riyad Hakim Luchman in the red and white, the red, white and blue top of the Dutch champion. That's Jerome van Eck. And on the right-hand side, Quentin Schrotzenberger from France. So 2 French riders. And then we have our Netherlands champion in there, and we have our Singapore rider, and the second from the left-hand side. So this is the third. Let's just see who is going to be taking this out from the start. Now, big favourites here, Jerome van Eck, the rider with the number 2 plate, and Jerome, the second qualifying rider, as he came through. His time in qualifying for 1 lap was a time of 55.63 seconds. And that was only 1 second, 1.06 seconds behind the first rider, the leading rider. That was Simon Gegenhammer. Now, Gegenhammer has already qualified in his quarterfinal, along with Elias Straninger, who came through the 2 riders, eliminating Anton Ostam and Simon Gutman. The champion, the multi-time, 4-time champion, Titouan Perrin-Garnier, came through with Lorenzo Saez, but Anton Birat and Hugo Biata were out, and Biata not finishing the race in the previous heat. So let's see what they've got to say.
Hugo Biata eliminated in the quarterfinals. It's a bit too early for you this season, this first race?
Yes, it's a little bit disappointing for me today as a result. It's not very much my kind of track today. I like more physical and technical tracks. Today it's very slippery, so I wanted to ride safe. Did not take too much risk. And let's see last week for the European Championship, which is for me the main goal of the season.
Okay, good luck in the European Championships, Hugo Biata. Over back to you, Matt.
So good to hear from Hugo Biata there, who has been eliminated from the finals, taken out in the quarterfinal stage, and his focus on the European Championships. And in fact, City Mountainbike, who run the entire XE series, putting on a series of flights to get riders across and over to that European mountain bike. Now, as you can see, that Hugo Biata and Anton Birat are both taken out of the quarterfinals, the second of those heats, with 4-time world champion Titouan Perrin-Garnier going through at the front of affairs. So our riders will be counted down. We have Stiebel and Luchman, Van Eck, along with Schrotzenberger on the outside of the grid, lined up and ready to go, and they will be given the 15 seconds to go card. They've no indication when that will be. They'll go on the sound of the whistle. The commissaires let them go, and away they go. Now, who's going to get the quick start here? Van Eck is the man that they're all expecting, but this first corner is critical. Who's going to get in? Look at this, a massive slide down there, and nearly took out half of the race field there. You can just see the riders really fighting for position, but this has left Van Eck on his own at the front, on to the first of the stepped up rollers. That multi-jump, it's very easy to get that wrong. Now onto the next one. As you can see, clearing the doubles on the way through in qualifying. A lot of the riders squashing that down and manualing the way over. However, in this, the quarterfinals, you can see Van Eck clearing the doubles onto the wall ride quickly around there. Now the fight is for second place here, because whilst our leader is clear at the front, it's that battle for second place at the moment. It looks to me like Schrotzenberger is holding his own in that position, but Schrotzenberger is being chased here by Luchman, the man who nearly took out the rest of the race field on that first corner. But as they come round, this is 1 lap done, 1 lap left to go. The third of the heats, 2 are through, and the fight is on behind. And the man really who is struggling here is Stiebel, 0.2 of a second behind the leaders as they came through, and he's really got to push on here, as has Luchman. It's no good being third or fourth. You're out of the competition. But it looks like the man who's going to have the clearest run here It's going to be Van Eck who quickly goes up and over this format, much like XC, but squished down and compressed into a square, brought to town and brought to lots of people. Great format. The course 440 metres long with 5 technical sections, and you can see a challenge just being put in there by Schrozenberger up onto Van Eck at the front. Now, their position where they finish will affect where they sit in the next of the rounds, where we move on to the semi-finals from the quarter-finals. But at the moment, the quarter-final riders, the 2 leading riders, just taking a little bit of a look back, not wanting to expend too much energy. And a bit like a track race, you've got to save some energy on the way through. Quick wheelie on the way in and through from Schotzenberger, but it's Van Eck from Schotzenberger with Luckman coming in 3rd place, and then it is going to be Stiebel in 4th place. So 2 riders through, Van Eck and Schotzenberger, and they will move through into the semi-finals. Well, it's fast, it's furious, we promised you that, and that's exactly what's happening here in Leuven. This very short course, 440 metre course, really, really quick, and the riders don't get much recovery time in between those races, so it's a big effort. So next of our quarterfinals will be underway very shortly. Confirmation that Van Eck and Schotzenberger go through as the next of our quarterfinals is underway, and at the moment it is Klausman at the moment with Jay Bitterbeer in the race at the moment. Now Jay Bitterbeer is rider number 6, and looks to me like Bitterbeer with a little bit of work to do if he wants to stay in this, because the riders behind are chasing hard now. Castillo Noyolo from Mexico is pushing hard to try and close down on the riders in front. At the moment it is Klausman with that number 3 plate on, being challenged on the outside by our tester rider Jay Bitterbeer, pushing on here now. Bitterbeer goes on the left hand side, quickly moves around, and look at this, a quick move on the inside of the wall, and it looks like the rider from Mexico's gone through. What a move up the inside here, and everybody, I think, thinks they've got a chance of going through at the moment. And look at that, in the blink of an eye, it's from first to last here as Rika goes up and through, but it is Jay Bitterbeer with that extra little bit of course practice maybe paid off at the moment. Round he comes, he's going to get a gap here. Now, what's the gap as he go through? The fight on for second place. Bitterbeer now slightly clear at the front. The fight is behind, and at the moment it is Noyolo who has the second place. They are very close together, and as you've seen on that wall ride, you can make a move if you've got the skills to pay the bills. You're going to get yourself through. Bitterbeer holding the front and looking very strong at the moment. Don't think he's going to be challenged. They're now going to be looking behind, and Noyolo is going to be looking to hold off Klausman. Klausman in that German strip, quickly trying to close down onto the heels of Noyolo, but time is running out, and this is when Noyolo made the move, just putting on the brakes a little bit there, but Klausman not being able to go up the inside. As he gone around the outside, he keeps on challenging, and the pedals come out. You can see almost a full 360 there as they came around the corner, and that has taken him out from contention for second place, out of the race there. And look at that, it's a rolled tyre. It looked like the pedal came out as he slips sideways, and there's a bike went sideways. That tyre has rolled, so not going to be a race finish. So as they come through, Bitterbeer comes through very comfortably. However, Rika and Castillo Niolo fighting to the end. Now we're going to get confirmation of just who was wearing that, and you can see an absolutely dejected Klausman with the bike at the side there. So this is a quick replay. Up onto the top he went, and just taking a look, it looks to me, I think he's managed to roll that tyre a little bit. It's certainly not looking good yet. He has got a puncture on the way through, so a puncture for him on the way around. Still able to hold it as it came through the top, but rolling it before the end of the race there. So a real fight through, and we just await confirmation of the third places there. So Rika goes through with Noyolo just behind. It was so close on the line, and only 0.1 of a second in that. So that was very close indeed, and you can see it takes its toll on the bikes. It can take its toll on the roads, just like in any other form of mountain biking. And not to be Mr. Klausman's day, Felix Klausman with the bike up on his shoulder.
In the second stairs, so I flattened my tire, and
it was quite an explosion. We heard it over here.
Unfortunately, yes. It was tight. I thought I can catch him one more time, but maybe on another turn. So let's see next week.
Next time, better luck. Good luck, Felix. Thank you for this short reaction. Matt, over to you.
Well, thank you, Jan. Jan down there on the start-finish line, managing to grab a quick word with the riders, and you can see quite prosaic about that. That is mountain biking all over, whether it is the XCE, whether it's XCO, XCC, or the marathon format. All these different formats of different lengths. The XCE, the shortest, the Eliminator format, and that is where we are seeing our riders are really having to work hard for the shortest amount of time. It compresses everything down, and as you can see in Leuven, we can fit it into a town square, which means that you can see all of the actions. We can just see Felix Glassman carrying the bike back over to where the riders are stationed. It is very easy to blow a tyre on the way through, and as Felix says, we'll be seeing him next week. Now on to our women's semi-finals next. So we have two semi-finals, and again it's 2 through. Mariska Strauss from South Africa, Holmgaard Tolmena, along with riders just on the right-hand side, quickly away, and it looks to me like already Tolmena, the world champion, already kicking down hard, looking very, very strong at the moment. So as these riders are heading out, it is looking very fast indeed, and at the moment you can just see it's Gaia Tolmena at the moment from Shrevers, Holmgaard, and then Strauss sitting in 4th place at the moment. Remember, it's only 2 through, but at the moment, the European champion taking that left-hand turn, a little slide on the bike there as she goes up onto the rolls. It's almost a doubles, and if you hit it fast enough, you can clear that, but it's not necessarily the safest of options as the rain starts to fall. Now, I've been talking to the crew down on the start-finishing lines. They're saying that the intermittent showers coming through are making the cobbles very slippy, and nobody wants to cuddle a cobble as you come around this course, but Tolmena making it look easy. Now, Gaia Tolmena was the informed rider to beat last season and the season before, but she is spending a lot of time on the track, and you don't get rain on the velodrome, so she's got to remember just what it's like to race on the cobbles. You can see that the pace has had to drop to get an increase in traction. Now the riders can reduce the pressure in the tyres, but it risks blowing the tyre out, and at the end of lap 1, it is Gaia Tolmena who's coming through, leading the race out, with Shrevers sitting in 2nd position. Behind, though, it looks like Strauss just moving up into 3rd place, just trying to close the gap down, but she has got this challenge from Ella Holmgaard, and Ella just coming up on the inside, just takes a little bit of a peek. Very, very risky move to make a move on these corners. Limited traction for the riders, and dropping your tyre pressures a risky option if you case them on a jump, if you hit them on a step on one of the uphill step sections or the downhill, you're then going to cause yourselves lots of problems. So the riders look to have sorted out position number 1. Who's going through? Well, Gaia Tolmena, barring a problem on this last section, should be through, but behind it is all closing up here, and they're on the heels of the German Schrever. So Shrevers at the moment has quickly pushing onto the back wheel. It could happen in these last few moments. We're going to wait to see them come in. It's the battle for 2nd and 3rd place. Strauss takes another look at the German rider. It's going to come down to a sprint in. Remember, this could be closed out by fractions of a second. The timing goes to hundredths. At the moment, the kick comes from Strauss on the left-hand side of the track as they come through. Strauss, I think, hitting that from Shrevers. And if that came to a sprint, the German rider is going to be absolutely gutted, because she was working hard all the way around. She looked secure, but the pressure and the pace into that wall ride took Strauss right on the wheel of the German, and then timed a move to perfection there, coming around the outside. Now we're going to await confirmation from the judges and from the commissaire team as to who took that 2nd place. Was it Strauss? Was it Shrevers? Tolmena already through. The European champion, the world champion, the multi-time winner goes through, and it is Strauss confirmed as going through in that 2nd place. So that means that Tolmena and Strauss will be into the main final, and then we'll have a ride-off for positions 5, 6, 7 and 8 from Shrevers with Holmgaard and 2 of the riders in the 2nd of the women's semi-finals. So blue skies just starting to reappear in Leuven for the 2021 round number 1 of the UCI XCE Eliminator, brought to you by City Mountainbike, who run the entire series around. Our first round in Leuven, our 2nd round in Oudenaarde next week, and a 3rd week on the trot is Valkensvoort in the Netherlands. We then move on to Graz at the World Championships.
It looked like a walk in the park, and then suddenly you start.
Let's hear from
what
Gaia.
were you thinking? Jesus Christ, why me again?
I didn't want to do another quarterfinal, semi-final like last year here at the World Championship, but I think it is like a magnet, this rain. So I'm hoping for a final with a big sun like in the quali.
Okay, take care and good luck in the final. Thank you. Over to you, Matt.
So great to see the interview there with Gaia. Looks like she really is ruined the fact that the rain is coming down now. Last year in Leuven, she did have to race in the rain. It's something none of the riders want to do. The reduction in grip means that it's much more high risk. However, it is a skill that the riders have to practice, and it's something that they have to get dialed. When you move up from XCE, we move into the XCC format. That's longer, with more chances of overtaking, but less instant pressure, which is definitely going to be on these riders from the line. So Fromberger of Germany, De Vries of Netherlands, Boulio of France, and Boer of the Netherlands are left to right on your screens, and the riders lined up and ready to go. You can see lifting out of the saddle, ready to kick down on those pedals and get the best start possible. So the whistle goes, oh, massive slip there. You can see the lack of traction on the way through, and that was very dodgy. It cost Schumann Borg a real start there. She was kicking down so hard, you can see the bike sliding. However, straight up into the lead is Fromberger. Now Fromberger very fast. She was the second fastest in the qualifying, with Tomena the fastest qualifier, and she had nearly 0.4 of a second faster than anybody else. But Fromberger at the moment looks like she has got command of this. However, that will get slippery when it gets wet as you go over those rollers, as the Netherlands rider continues to push on. Didi De Vries quickly into second place. Now she wants to hold up, but there's not a lot separating them, and as to go into the wall ride, Fromberger making certain of this. She knows she's clear, and that is clearly the tactics being employed here with the rain. Take no risk, get into the front. However, the fight here, the number 3 plate Didi De Vries in the pink jersey being chased here, and you can just see right on her heels from the Netherlands it is Boer, who's made the way up, and Shimon has gone around the side now. So Shimon de Boer has come around the side of the rider, comes up towards the line at the end of lap number 1 in second position. So after a disastrous start, which saw De Boer and Boulio really struggled to get off the line, she's now moved up into second place, and she's gone around that early second place rider of De Vries. Now De Vries has got to respond to this. Remember, it's only 2 riders through into the final, and there are valuable points for the rest of the season that are going to be up for grabs. The riders get points. They get 30 points right the way down to 1 point for the time trial, 60 points down to 1 point for the main racing. So our riders really do need to score as highly as they can. Every place is worth big points, and that will total up at the end of the season. It's 8 rounds out of 9, 7 out of 8, with only 1 round allowed if a rider has to miss a round. Now, at the moment, you can just see that the second and third place is close. Nothing to choose between them. Time is running out, though. No problems, though, for Marion Fromberger from Germany. Clear at the front, but behind. That move by Boer has allowed her to come up into second place, and it looks to me like De Vries is spent here. There's not going to be anything coming to take that back, and you can just see Boer closing in on Fromberger, who saves her energy, but it's Fromberger from Boer, and then it's going to be De Vries coming through in that third place, with Boulio taking what will be a 4th place spot. Fantastic riding by our riders, and I can see Jan down there ready to grab an interview now. You can just see that start there, a big skip and lots of bouncing about by the riders in 3rd and 4th places that came off from the line, but good recovery by Boer, who makes a move up here as they come up over the rollers. You can just see it's De Vries currently in 2nd place, but that move on the side managed to take Boer through, and Boer goes through to take 2nd place there. So confirmation that it is Fromberger and Boer who go through. 0.2 of a second separating them, and that flatters Boer rather than shows how close it was, because Fromberger definitely setting up at the line.
Semi-finals,
so let's jump across to Jan.
Fromberger, and you had it under control from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, it was super difficult because it starts to rain before the race, so I just decided to do a good start,
and then don't crash in the corners because it was super slippery.
Was looking out and be careful.
Yeah, I just try to be careful that I don't crash and have no mechanics. So yeah, I'm happy to be in the finals now.
Congratulations and see you back in the finals. Matt, up to you.
Thank you very much, Jan. And as you can see, our riders already lined up and ready to go. This is going to be the next rundown. So we are going to see our riders lined up and ready to go. Hopefully, we are going to see the first of these semi-finalists get at least a slightly dry run as they head out from the start. Now, Simon Gegenheimer on the right-hand side, then Tranega moving across towards the left, Seres, then the world champion, and that is Titouan Perrin Gagné, the fast man from France, the four-time world champion. Can he do the business here today and take away a lead in the World Cup? So 15 seconds show to the riders. The riders will start on the sound of the whistle. Away they go, and another slip, another big slide there. And it's Tranega who took the slide as he kicked on the pedals. The bike slipped sideways, and it is Mr. Moustache himself. It is going to be Simon Gegenheimer who takes the lead. He's got Perrin Gagné on his heels, but look at them, they're not giving the world champion any space at all at the moment. Quickly onto the heels moves Lorenzo Seres of France. And Seres quickly sitting on the heels, but the gap not opening at the moment. It's very hard to get the pressure down on pedals, stop them slipping. We've all seen cars, we've all seen bikes sliding about in the rain. Well, that is what's going to happen. It's not just the sideways, the cornering, it's also about getting the power down. It doesn't matter if you can produce 2,000 watts, it's absolutely irrelevant if you can't get it down. You see the speed these riders are going by, how high on that wall ride they have to go. As Gegenheimer still holding the lead, but there is nothing to choose between. And it's one slip, one slide in these weather conditions could change this. Gegenheimer just starting to open the gaps up over the wooden rollers there into the left-hand turn. One more corner and they're in, and it looks like Perrin Gagné having to defend there. He knows how to do that. Big elbows coming out from him as Gegenheimer comes through the line, and the door shut there by Perrin Gagné. Didn't want anybody to come up the inner side or the outside of him. He swept from the inside of the bend to the outside and well truly shut the door there on the chaser Seres, and at the moment it is Tranega who's well and truly distant, so the battle is between second and third places, unless we can see Elias Tranega do something very, very special. On a slide there, could that have decided it? We were talking about the traction. Lorenzo Seres there in third place, slipped out, the foot came out, he managed to stabilise it and kick it back up again. You just see him pushing down, just checking he hasn't got a puncture. Quick bounce on the handlebars will just double check that the bike is okay, and a slide generally that can make the riders wonder whether or not they've got a puncture. It looks like he's clear. I'm not seeing that bike too flat at the moment, but you can just see it's close between the riders. So Titouan keeps on kicking on in second place, but it looks to me like Seres is not giving up. Two more corners to go into this corner. They come again, one more corner to go. Who's going to get the spot into the semi-finals? Well, Gegenheimer's going to come through comfortably. Massive slide out there on the corner as it comes through. I think it was Perrin Gagné who came through, and a slide down onto the floor there. Elias Tranega coming down on those columns really hard. You can see just sliding out on that corner, the saddle, all sorts of angles. But that was a brutal race. Now let's hear from Simon very shortly if we can. Just looks to me like traction was definitely an issue for Elias Tranega. No such problem for Gegenheimer, who went clear in the black up at the front, the fastest of our qualifiers today out on the course. With a 54.57 qualifying time. In fact, the world champion Titouan Perrin Gagné only came through to be our fourth fastest qualifier. But you can just see that the riders coming through, and that slide out definitely taking a fast chasing Tranega coming through behind. He does cross the line to get a time, but qualifying it is Lorenzo Seres along with Simon Gegenheimer, and Gegenheimer absolutely flying around the course. He's clearly got this thing nailed. He can get the grip, he can get the power down as they come off from the line. Are we going to see Gegenheimer have a fantastic season that may well mean that if he is on early season form, he can move up in the world champs? So he looks like Jan is down there with Simon just taking on board the gel.
Again, the Simon Gegenheimer we saw last year, not that much, but again on top of his abilities.
Yeah, feels quite good. I was not sure before the season started if I'm really in shape. Training went well so far, but now it's a good feeling to cross the semi-final and go to the final first.
Okay, congratulations, you're able to recuperate and go to the final. We see him back in less than a quarter of an hour. Simon Gegenheimer, Matt, back to you.
So thank you, Jan, and Simon Gegenheimer on great form now. Simon has got a bronze medal in the World Championships. He's got 3 silver medals, but he's never taken that world title. And the man he beat into second place in that semi-final, Titouan Perrin-Gagné, is the current reigning and 4-time world champion. Now, who's going to be joining them in the final? Remember, we've got Jay Bitterbier, rider number 6, sat pretty much central alongside Schwarzenberger in those gates. So from the left is Nayolo from Mexico, Schwarzenberger from France, Bitterbier from Belgium, and Van Eck from the Netherlands. These 4 riders, 2 through to the main finals, 2 will be riding off for the minor places from 5th all the way down to 8th position here in Leuven at the UCI XCE Eliminator round number 1, second of the semi-finals, and this is for a place in the final. 2 through, 2 to ride off for the minor places. So the riders away. Who's going to get the quick start? Van Eck quickly moves across the course there. You can just see he kicked down hard enough to get in front and then moved all the way to the outside to keep that line to hold track position as they come up onto this step-up jump. You hit the first bar a bit hard enough, it will take you straight up onto the top. If you take it slowly, you're going to lose so much time quickly over here, and the riders keeping the rubber down, and nobody trying to take the whole height of the jump in one go, because that landing then puts excessive force on the tyres. Lots of the riders manualing through here. Remember, we saw riders taking the double in the quarterfinals. However, in the semi-finals where it's wetter and there's less grip, they're keeping the tyres down, increasing the grip, and right up to the top of that wall ride goes our leader at the moment as they come in through. So Van Eck at the moment and looking very, very good. Very close between these riders though, but it is Van Eck leading Jay Bitterbier in the black, doing enough with that number 6 plate on his bike, on that black and white with the red writing on that Trek frame, quickly out of the corners. But at the moment these two have opened a substantial gap as they come up to the line. They come through the line. It is going to be about half a second from these riders, between the riders as they go through the line. In fact, it's gone out to nearly 2 seconds now as they come round the course. So it is nearly 2 seconds between the first rider and the 3rd place rider, and that does mean that you can see Van Eck along with Bitterbier just easing off a little bit as the sun comes out. It's going to start drying the wood down, and you can see problem chain off here. So looks like the chain straight off the chainring, the bouncing on those cobbles enough to take one of our riders out of contention, and that looks to me like that is going to be Schwarzenberger, who is now out of contention. 3 riders left really in this race at the moment. Jerome Van Eck making his way around here. Van Eck, second fastest of our qualifiers, quickly in and over the next set of rollers. 2 corners to go as he comes around Bitterbier. I don't think he's going to try and challenge for the front of the race, but he is going to have to defend that second place from Nayolo, who is closing in fast. But you can just see Jay Bitterbier with his arms up in the air and making it through. A great ride by Jay, who comes up through in second place, and great to have Jay out on the course, showing us just what was in store for the riders. Now our riders are going to be diving in. You can just see high fives from our race winner. That is Jerome Van Eck, and Jan down there getting ready to interview him. You just see they start. Van Eck start absolutely blistering pace out from the start, out to the corner, quickly into these rolls, and most of the people trying to keep the rubber on the floor. Not to be from Schwarzenberger with an issue with the chain coming off. You can just see he looks down, he puts foot down on the pedals, the chain comes off, that's him out contention. Nayolo too far back to challenge, and it is Van Eck and Bitterbier who take the 2 spots and move on into the finals. So confirmed is Jerome Van Eck and Jay Bitterbier, the 2 riders well clear of Nayolo, and Schwarzenberger finishing the race after putting the chain back on the bike. So we have our finals riders, the big names in there with Van Eck leading the way.
I saw you giving your fans and other people handy tips and tricks, and in the meantime keeping in shape, because we saw you training very, very much, and we see the result. You're in shape.
Yeah, indeed, I'm in shape. I had a good winter. I changed teams to the team Bob Renchens and gave some motivation as well. And in the meantime, I just kept keeping fun and training a lot, and it works out right now.
This sharpness will be working out in the big final later on?
Yeah, I hope so. I could actually move quite good towards the eighth, the quarter and the half. And now it will be just all out in the big final. So.
Congratulations, and we see you in a couple of minutes for the big final. Matt, back to you.
Thank you, yeah, and interesting to see if he can repeat that move to get the ace in the hole, to get that whole shot straight out into the first corner, because that's critical for the riders. You can just see if you can get out in front and hold that position, you are less troubled to qualify. However, there's now a change. If you've seen XE before, you'll notice there is a difference between how riders will approach a final than they ride a semi-final, and that is all to do with how the riders want to finish, because it's about finishing in the top two initially to qualify through. However, it's about being in front when it comes to the final. Now, this is the minor final, and we have our riders lined up. Ella Holmgaard, then it is going to be Leah Boulou, Maurice Strauss, and then Didi de Vries from left to right on your screens. They are riding for 5th to 8th place in the women's minor final. So this is for 5th to 8th place, valuable UCI points awaiting the riders. Who's going to take away top spot from that available? Another spin there from Boulou. So she now has to kick up and change gear quickly into this corner. You can just see leading them out is Strauss. So Mariska Strauss with the lead, but quickly onto her heels there. You can just see big chase from De Vries here, and all these riders want to score those points. Those UCI points valuable to the riders. It's not like your driving license where points on it are going to take you backwards. This is all about scoring as many that you can take on to the subsequent rounds. They increase your value as a rider when it comes to getting sponsors. And at the moment, Mariska Strauss quickly up and over those bumps, heading in towards the next of the obstacles. And at the moment, it looks like Strauss really has opened up the gap on the riders behind her. De Vries at the moment unable to answer the challenge set down by Strauss. So Strauss are looking like, as we come in towards the end of lap number 1, that she's staying clear at the moment. Behind though, look at this, De Vries and Holmgaard are very, very close together. I think there could be a closing of the gap down here in this second lap, because Holmgaard is not that far behind, but she's got Boulou, who's also fighting for position. So it looks to me like Strauss should have a clear run as she moves into lap number 2. The chasers behind able to follow in those sort of wheel tracks down. There's not a lot of aerodynamic advantage sitting behind the riders, although they are going very quickly indeed around the course. It's all about getting in a position to challenge, to change position out on the course. It's only a certain number of overtaking points, and if you're skilled, there's more of those. If you're less skilled, well, you've got limited line options. If you're a skilled rider, you can come around the inside. And look at this, it looks to me like Didi de Vries here in the red, white and blue there. The Netherlands really is fighting to close that gap down. The Dutch champion really is working to get the gap down, but at the moment it is big enough for Strauss to relax a little bit, and that's always handy. We always say to riders, if they're hitting a technical section, give your fingers a wiggle, relax a little bit. If you hit things, you're not as rigid, you're not going to bounce about, you're not going to get knocked offline. But Strauss here looks like she is going to take away 5th place in the competition overall. She has one more corner to take, and she's going to line up here. She comes into the finishing line, so Mariska Strauss coming through to take the victory. Behind then it's going to be 2nd place in this race, a 6th place overall for Didier de Vries. Oh, it looks like that's been chased. Boulou just taking it on the line. That was very close indeed. We're going to wait for confirmation of those results, because if that's the case, that was a fantastic sprint by Boulou as it came through. You could just see that spin out there by Boulou on the line. The rider number 6, the second from the riders from the left-hand side, really cost her a lot of time and a lot of energy to get back up in contention. But as they came around the corners, Mariska Strauss are really looking in form. The multi-time South African champion really looking like she has this course dialed. The sun's out, and that will be drying all of the surfaces. So Strauss coming through now. What's happened in that battle behind? Because it looked like De Vries had this. Oh, big sprint there, and that's going to go back to the cameras. I suspect that is going to get overturned, but never trust the word of a commentator over a line judge, because the line judges have all of the tech as well as the Mark 1 human eyeball to make sure that they get those results confirmed. So just waiting for the confirmed results. In the meantime, looks like we are now on to our minor final for the men. So here we are, quickly up and away. It's Lorenzo Ceres leading out in this, and only 3 starters here. So it looks like trying to go from that hit onto the floor, not taking the start line. Absolutely massive error. Some great styling it up on the way through as well. Well, if you can't win, at least make it look good, and that is exactly what's happening as they come through here. That's what we want to see as they come in towards the next of the obstacles, quickly up and over there, and you could just see Quinten Schwarzenberger there whipping it up as he came over those doubles. There's hardly any time to build up speed, any time to build up pace, but it's all about style and skill to be able to pull that off on a very short track with very limited options in terms of getting the pace, and that has cost him a little bit of time. You can't accelerate when you're up in the air. The fastest route is actually slightly lower. It looks to me at the moment like Lorenzo Ceres has got the measure of this court. He's got the measure of Schwarzenberger, but Schwarzenberger still continues to chase this down. This isn't over, because Schwarzenberger has shown he's got the skills. They've left, and Yolo a little bit struggling here, but Yolo still going to get a good position here, because he is going to take away what is going to be a 7th place overall. As they come around this corner, though, it looks to me like Sarah's just taking it slightly easier on that wider turn there. The rider's running exceedingly wider, and that is definitely making life difficult. It shows just which bits are drying faster than others. Remember, where the wind is blowing, it's going to dry quicker, and that makes a big difference. The riders have got to be so in tune with the racing surface as they come around. Now, look at this. The gap is starting to come down. Has Ceres left anything? Because Lorenzo up at the front being chased here by Quinten Schwarzenberger. And Schwarzenberger, he's still heading for that back line, but there's a fraction of a second between them. 2 corners to go, and Schwarzenberger's coming hard on into his heels here. Has Lorenzo left anything in his legs? I think Schwarzenberger was winding that up earlier. They're going to make it around the corner. In fact, they do, and Lorenzo Ceres just holding on to take what is going to be a 5th place. Schwarzenberger is going to take a 6th place, and Yolo is going to take what is going to be 7th place in the race overall. A 1, 2, 3 in the race, and that's 5, 6, and 7 in the competition overall. So fast and frantic as the riders were out on the course. Only 3 riders on the start line, with Traniger, the rider who came down heavily in those semi-finals, not making it into the final. But that start by Lorenzo Ceres, very, very quick indeed. Quickly up over the doubles, and no problems onto the step-ups. And you can see nailing the wall ride. Not the highest rider as you go around the wall, but clearly comfy with the pace that he's going, and comfortable with the grip levels as they came into the finish. No matter what was done behind, Lorenzo Ceres taking the top spot in that race. So confirmation from the timing teams and our commissaire team down on the line. 1 minute 57 there by Ceres, taking the victory from Schwarzenberger, and then Nayolo. Now on to the women's final. What a talented final we have here. Gaia Tomena sits there in the Europeans jersey, just waving to the crowd there. Fromberger on her right. Far left of the scene is Shrivers, and then it's Bohr. Potentially the luckiest of the riders coming through with less than 15 seconds to go. It's soon going to be the final time. Who's going to take away? Away they go. Now, who's got the fastest kickoff from the line here? Look at Tomena go. So Gaia Tomena at the moment from Italy takes that left-hand serve very, very quickly. She got into position and then held off Fromberger. But remember, Fromberger very, very quick. These are the 1-2 in qualifying at the moment. And Shaban at the moment looks like she's sitting a lot further up than maybe we would have expected, but she has got a fight on her hands. Shrivers trying to close down on her for the 3rd and 4th places, but at the moment, look at the rider going clear at the front. Gaia Tormena is really opening this up. She missed out on the World Championships which are going to be coming up in grass very shortly, because she ended up taking second place in one of the tightest sprint finishes I've ever seen. I've had the pleasure of putting words to the action and racing and watching thousands and thousands of races, and it was one of the tightest sprint finishes ever. She only took the silver medal, edged out in the finish in Leuven. Now she's going to make sure of this time around. This year, already kicking down harder through the line, opening a gap on Fromberger. Fromberger wanting to replicate the run that she had now. Not so sure that they've got a dry run. The umbrellas are down, so not raining at the moment in Leuven. However, it seems that the sun has come out enough for Gaia Tormena to really stretch her legs here. The cobbles are staying reasonably dry, hitting that speed, just coming off the first takeoff and having to land on the face of the second part of the jump. Such was the pace. It's slightly smoother from Fromberger as she came over there, but certainly not damaging the pace here of Tormena. Around that turn she comes into the next corner. Tormena now clear. You can see that gap really has opened up, and it is going to be a battle, I think, now between second and third place here, because Shrevers is closing down. Shrevers on the charge here. She's gone around Bohr and is now in pursuit of the riders in front, but the rider who is absolutely nailing this at the moment, it is going to be Gaia Tormena with the wheels in the air, taking what was a very comfortable victory. She goes through the sprint for second place. Oh, I think Shariva may well have got that. We said she was coming quick. Has she come quick enough? If she has, Marion Fromberger is going to be absolutely kicking herself, and it looks like it's confirmed. So Gaia Tormena from Shrevers and from Fromberger on the screen there, and Shrevers kick into the finish. Fantastic stuff to take her up into position as she came through there. So Gaia Tormena absolutely imperious on the way around here. Just no mistakes. We didn't see a real fault with her at all. Quickly riding over there, carrying more speed through up over the top of those doubles. Fromberger working hard behind in that red jersey, but Gaia Tormena really did make that look easy. But the sprint for second and third places, Schreiber from Germany in the white jersey, closing down in that German jersey onto Fromberger. And you can just see Fromberger didn't have the answer, and he was elbow to elbow, and he just was, it's got to be the width of a tyre, giving it to Schreiber as they came through. So Tormena from Shrevers, from Fromberger from Bohr as they come through the finish there. What a result.
It was again Gaia Torpedo Tormena in town, and well, yeah, you won, and it looked quite easy, but you had to work.
Yes, of course. I am really happy with this win. It was a cool race to start the season again. Now we will have other big appointments with City Mountainbike and the European Championship, so I'm very happy with this win, but from tomorrow I will have to head to the next races.
And I saw your face clearing up as the clouds went away, the rain was away, the sun came out, and the track was dry again. It was a kind of a relief?
Yes, of course. When the track is not wet, I can enjoy and have fun on my bike. I really like City Mountainbike's track, also because they are very technical, and I like to play with my bike. So when it's wet, it's a little bit more difficult. When it's dry, I love it.
And at the end, a wheelie. Yeah, the show must go on.
Yes, of course, we hope so.
Okay, thank you very much. See you in the next races, and congratulations with this victory. First victory for Gaia Tormena. Back to you, Matt.
Indeed, first victory of the day in the UCI XC Eliminator, going to Gaia Tormena, and continuing where she left off really last season. She was absolutely dominant over the last few seasons, and as she says, enjoys playing on the bike, enjoys riding the bike, and happy riders are definitely fast riders. That's something I definitely believe in. It's so true. If riders are smiling, if they're enjoying riding the bike, if they enjoy playing on it, then it makes a difference. It's all about having those skills. You've seen how tight the margins are as they come around these corners. One slight mistake, one slip, one bit of hesitancy, and they are going to be in trouble. So it looks like it is going to be our men's final. And this is for top four places. Jay Bitterbeer, who we saw doing that practice lap for us, the four-time world champion, Titouan Apparent-Garnier, then it is going to be Jerome van Eck from the Netherlands, our second fastest qualifier here today, the Dutch champion. Then the man in black, Mr. Moustache himself, Simon Gegenheimer. Gegenheimer with that number 1 plate on the fastest qualifier by over a second. Who's going to get the shot from the start? So the whistle goes, and all of these riders won that first place. Gegenheimer on the inside, pushing on hard here, and he's going to do that only by a dint of his position on the grid. They were almost lined out as they came down that straight, but Gegenheimer quickly leads over the top. Look at Titouan on the inside. The world champion muscles his way into second place, but Gegenheimer, he's got boosters at the moment because he's just opened up a gap on these riders behind. It's not much, but every little bit counts here. And you can see the pace these riders are going. They're almost jumping right the way off the down ramp on the exit off the jumps. And at the moment, Jay Bitterbeer at the back. So at the moment, you've got Gegenheimer at the front, Bitterbeer at the back, and the jam in the middle of those riders in black. The jam in the sandwich at the moment, that is coming from Van Eck in second place and the world champion in third. And he will not be happy with that place at the moment. He needs to pull some speed out somewhere. He's only going to have 1 lap to do so. So on towards the straight, they come now into that final corner of the penultimate lap. It's 1 lap left to go here. Gegenheimer looks over his shoulder, as does Van Eck. Titouan Perengania, he's only got 1 place. He's looking, it's right in front, up over this step-up jump. No problems at all, but Bitterbeer at the moment, I don't think you can see a way through here as Gegenheimer looks like he's continuing that form. He's clearly wants this very much indeed. You can just see, taking a look over his shoulder, wants to know where everybody else is. Whenever he gets the chance, he'll be able to hear the wheels. He'll be able to hear any issues, any slips or slides, but at the moment, he's absolutely nailing this. And that quick start, that inside line as he set off down the straight at the moment, paying off for him. He's got to hold this now. Can the world champion make a move here up into second place? He knows there's points at stake, but those gaps are opening, and I don't think anybody's going to touch the man in front. So coming up to the line, he's got to take this last corner. He's got to get round it safely. He does so. World Cup and win number 1, Simon Gegenheimer, absolutely ecstatic. Then Jerome Van Eck in second place. So world champion, well, he's down in third place. Perengania comes through for a third place with Jay Bitterbeer taking 4th place in that final. And Gegenheimer got to be absolutely ecstatic with that. That is a fantastic result. Never touched on the way through from that very, very first kick off the line. And you can just see that far right hand side, all these riders neck and neck as they come down if you follow those cobble lines through. But it was Gegenheimer who got in the front of the charge, coming into the first of the big obstacles, the first of those sort of big jumps up the step up jump, and really after that wasn't a trouble behind it. You could just see the world champion trying to close down on the front too, but it wasn't to be. And Gegenheimer celebrates as he comes through the line. Van Eck a second place here today, so confirmed times and positions, with Simon Gegenheimer from Germany taking top spot and winning the first of the UCI XCE Eliminator World Cup. And I think we're going to just hear from Jan.
Simon Gegenheimer, from start to finish line, you were in control. What a blast start.
Yeah, unbelievable. It felt nice, so good. After 2 years with no win, I'm finally back.
We saw an explosion, an outburst of joy at the end of the race.
Yeah, today was just great. I feel good every heat, and in the second lap of the final, the legs were already tired, but I said, fuck it and give it all until the finish. And I always feel the front wheel of Giron in my back, but I said he get no chance, just go full time to the line, full gas to the line.
After 3/4 of a race, I had the impression that you were already a little bit looking around, where is he, and keeping more and more control of the race.
Yeah, it was more.
Because you had to.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't felt so good, so I was not so confident to just go full gas, to go straight. So I always had a bit to look into the back. But in the end, I know I didn't have to, because I was just the strongest today. It's crazy.
Enjoy the victory. Congratulations. We will see him back the next couple of weeks, of course, in the next races, Matt. And be sure he will be ready for the next races. Simon, good luck. Thank you. Matt, back to you.
Thank you very much, Jan. And you could just see Simon Gegenheimer there. For a man who said he wasn't confident and he wasn't on form, clearly had the power to lead from the gun and to kick off from that start hard enough to keep going. He didn't feel very confident though on the way through, and that was a little bit of a surprise, but it was indicated by those looks over his shoulder, wanting to know where they were, whether he was going to be challenged. And with this track that isn't totally dry yet, that's definitely taken its toll on the rider's speed, and it's meant that they've had to modulate that a little bit before they are able to head up and over those obstacles. They've got to get around the corners, and to do so, you've got to keep it rubber side down. So as we get the results confirmed and we make our way onwards, we take a little look across at the Library Bell Tower here, rebuilt after the war. Actually, not as old as it looks, only built in 1921. And this, the University Library in the foreground and the bell tower in the background, looking down on the square named after the rector of the Leuven University before the war, and great to see such great action happening already. This is round number one, of course, of the UCI XCE Eliminator, and whilst we await the final confirmed results, don't forget that we're going to be back next week. It's going to be a little bit later. We are going to be in Oudenaarde. We're going to catch a little bit of the daylight, but it's a little bit later on in the day with an expected time between 6 and 7 o'clock if you're going to be watching live. So into the flower ceremony goes our top three riders in the men's race. It's the world champion. This is Titouan Perrin-Gagné coming through in third place. In second place, Jerome van Eck of the Netherlands. But taking top spot, a man who showed everybody just how good he is, taking the victory, even though he wasn't feeling great today. I got to say a massive well done to Simon Gegenheimer, and Simon coming through to take top spot for Germany. So great riding by all three, and our top three riders will be taking away maximum points, with Gegenheimer leading the series standings by dint of having the fastest time trial time and the fastest result, the winner of the men's final. So our next races that will come up after this will be in Oudenaarde, then on to where again? But remember, we will be seeing these riders back in action next week, and we're going to see if our top three women can repeat their result from today. So you can just see Marion Fromberger, who was outsprinted by Leah Shrevers, just getting the congratulations for Shrevers in second place. But the race winner, the previous series winner, the silver medalist from last year's World Championships, the rider to beat the European champion, it is Gaia Tomena who takes top spot and centre stage at the very first round of the UCI XCE Mountainbike Eliminator. So congratulations to our riders. They pose for photos, and it's going to be interesting to see if this is going to be replicated. It's very close racing. Fractions of a second separated our riders on the way through. Lots of the riders are going to be heading off over to the European XCO Championships. And don't forget, we'll be back in action next week as the series moves on. We're going to be back into Oudenaarde. So fantastic racing here at Leuven, fantastic racing to come at Oudenaarde, Valkenswaard, and then the World Championships will be in Graz. That's on the 5th of September with Winterberg, Saint-Germain in France, Barcelona in Spain, Bahrain, and then Abu Dhabi, wrapping up of the season. 8 World Cups and a World Championship as the racing continues. More events in Leuven today of lots of other races, but from the XCE Eliminator. Some great racing here at the first World Cup of the season. Remember, all of those points will move on, and we are going to be bringing you all of the action and all of the results. So from me, Matt Payne, a massive thank you for watching. Let's see some highlights from today's action.